The Knicks and Timberwolves sent shockwaves around the NBA by agreeing to a blockbuster trade just before training camps opened, with New York sending Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a protected Pistons first-rounder to Minnesota in exchange for Karl Anthony Towns. This deal is a lot of things: a cost-cutting move for Minnesota, a perfect fit for New York, and ultimately a potential lose-lose for all involved. We've been talking for a while now about how short the window probably was for the T-Wolves after trading for Rudy Gobert. The Wolves were coming off a 56-win campaign that ended in the West Final, but no one expected them to stomach mammoth luxury tax payments and second apron ramifications for long. In turning Towns into Randle and DiVincenzo, Minnesota saves roughly $5 million in salary for 2024-25. But when you take into account the Towns extension that's about to kick in, Randle's potentially expiring contract, and DiVincenzo's team-friendly deal, the Wolves' long-term savings are massive. And that's before getting into the tax-related benefits. From Minnie's perspective, the two-way duo of Anthony Edwards and Rudy Gobert still gives them a chance to contend, with Randle and the Big Ragu joining a still solid supporting cast around them, while they now have more flexibility to build around their budding superstar in the years to come. But if we're being real, the chances the Wolves will build a team as good as the one they just broke up are slim to none. For all his faults, Towns' offensive skill set made Minnesota's two-big system work. Randle's more of a bruising power forward, and he's about to join a front court that includes Gobert and Jaden McDaniels. Talk about a cramped floor for Edwards to navigate. What was already a middle-of-the-pack offense probably just got worse, though DiVincenzo's shooting will help some. I'd almost prefer Naz Reid start beside Gobert and have Randle come off the bench, where he can soak up more possessions and outclass inferior competition. And what happens with Randle after the season? If the whole point of shedding Towns' contract was financial flexibility, I can't see the Wolves wanting to pay Randle. Is Minnesota prepared to let him walk, meaning their haul for one of the best players in franchise history would amount to DiVincenzo, a heavily protected pick, and 1 year of Julius Randle? They could look to flip Randle mid-season, but who's paying up for a Randle rental? As for the Knicks, this looks like a perfect fit through a pure basketball lens, and not just because the only thing the Knicks like more than Villanova guards are CAA clients.
I need them all.
Though Randle predictably played some of his best ball after the Knicks traded RJ Barrett to open the floor up, there was concern about how the three-time All-Star would coexist on a new-look Knicks team now featuring Mikal Bridges. Could a shaky shooting, defensively inconsistent forward impact winning with less of the ball? Towns' offensive skills mean there's no such concern regarding his fit, with the four-time All-Star a more universal and malleable secondary star. As a career 40% three-point shooter and floor spacer, Towns doesn't need the ball to compromise opposing defenses or positively impact his team's offense. Still, he can beat teams with the ball in his hands in more ways than Randle could, though Randle's improved playmaking is worth noting. A pick-and-roll combination consisting of Towns and Jalen Brunson, with shooters like Bridges and OG Anunoby around them, unlocks countless possibilities for the Knicks and Towns alike. Defensively, the Knicks can protect Towns in perhaps even more ways than the top-ranked Timberwolves did. There are questions to ask of a defense featuring Towns and Brunson, but in Anunoby and Bridges, New York boasts two of the league's best perimeter and wing defenders. Plus, the Brunson-Towns duo isn't any more defensively vulnerable than the Brunson-Randle duo was, with Randle originally penciled in for plenty of time at the 5 while starting center Mitchell Robinson remained sidelined. Now when the Knicks go small to start the season, they'll do so with a more talented and offensively potent lineup, and one featuring a big man whose size makes him more of a traditional defensive center than Randle ever would have been. Anunoby also remains an option to play as a small ball 5 on the defensive end, while Towns abuses mismatches as an offensive center. And when Robinson eventually returns, he and Towns can share the front court thanks to Towns' floor spacing abilities. Look, Randle was a workhorse, akin to an innings eater in baseball, even if his flaws made him a tricky fit on a loaded roster. And DiVincenzo was a relentless two-way guard who was both a fan and locker room favorite. New York now needs a lot more from new sixth man Miles McBride. But the Knicks are unquestionably a better and more balanced team than they were before. and they're wholeheartedly going for it. Such steadfast pursuit of a championship, a quest to end the most famous drought in pro basketball, requires some shrewd decisions and tough goodbyes.
This can't be it.
Then how come it is?
However, this star-studded plan is far from foolproof. This is Karl Anthony Towns we're talking about. For all of his outrageous offensive talents, he's still prone to bouts of tepid play, indecisiveness, and poor decision-making, especially in the game's biggest moments. Such inconsistency and occasionally uninspiring play was tolerated in Minnesota, where Towns was a beloved franchise lifer. It won't be tolerated at Madison Square Garden, where impatient fans can taste genuine contention for the first time in decades. In addition, any slippage from Towns, who's cracked the 70-game mark only once in the last 5 years, could make his contract unmovable, even if the bargain deals Brunson and Bridges are on make Towns' salary less of a concern for the Knicks. On paper, New York won this trade in a landslide, but I wouldn't be shocked if we're talking about this as a lose-lose deal 6 months from now. Such is the KAT experience. He's a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma. Can't win with him, can't win without him. The Knicks and Timberwolves may both be about to find that out.
Thanks for watching. If you liked this video and want to see more content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button.